I'll be playing. And Spyro, you're the dragon. Could you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm WhitePaaws.
Hi everybody, I'm Dylan J. Fox.
Yep. Dylan is gonna be helping me with commentary throughout the run. And I think we are ready to start.
Perfect.
So, I can give the countdown real quick. So on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello everybody, welcome to Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. Arguably the most trick-heavy category that we're going to be seeing out of the Spyro series, the Spyro 3 8%. Every level has a cool trick, and we're going to be showcasing a bunch of them here for you today. The basic premise of Spyro 3, if you haven't played the game, is Spyro and friends were taking a little nap in the Dragon Worlds, then the Sorceress peeked on over, took all the Dragon Eggs, and your goal is actually to go back through and take back the Dragon Eggs. Funnily enough, here in any percent, we don't do that. We actually just look to get to the end of each level as quickly as possible while avoiding the restrictions set on the game by Insomniac when they originally made it. They made certain egg requirements for you to enter levels, but as we go through, I'll explain to you how we get to bypass those requirements. Our first level here is going to be Sunny Villa, where we're going to see our first example of a dead body proxy, which is, as it sounds, you proxy off of a dead body, where Spyro is kind of somewhat inside, and, ooh, that was... Ah, that would have worked. I think that would have worked without the hover. That was very close.
I don't think so. I think I needed to hover, but I messed it up. Like... Okay, whatever. Yeah, I just want to showcase 3 proxies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a good basic understanding of how it works from just what WhitePaaws was doing there. Basically what we're doing is we're getting somewhat inside of the dead body of that Nork, and we are pressing a X or jump input to get on up. And now we're going to be going for a funny trick called the waterfall, since WhitePaaws said they would go for it once if they hit Rhinoc. So this trick is arguably the most precise in the early game. You want to line yourself up with this waterfall really well, and we're going to see WhitePaaws go for a charge in a second, and hopefully get a cool swim in there.
I think I was too far left, honestly. Whatever. I'll go for the other thing now. It's really hard, but...
Yeah. That trick is one of the most brutal in the entire game by a country mile, if I'm honest. I would say it's like that and Helmet are probably... That Helmet and Bug are 3 of the most difficult, but...
yeah,
there we saw...
Sucks.
Yeah. The trick we just saw WhitePaaws do there is also pretty brutal. One of the big constraints about getting into this category in general is all of these little level entries. You just saw WhitePaaws fly underneath or swim underneath the Seashell Shore entry. Normally the portal isn't loaded until you have 14 eggs, but because the load trigger is actually underneath the portal, WhitePaaws can just swim to it. That is just how we have to bypass the way the game flows.
Yeah.
Ooh, hitting that. Oh no.
That's just a little low. You can get that out of bounds with a decently low proxy, but that was just slightly
a little.
Yeah, just slightly a little low. That's fine.
Yeah. Oop. Yeah, we're gonna be utilizing the swim and air function in I think every single homeworld. So you're gonna get to see it showcased a lot. I'll go over the trick that WhitePaaws did just before as a backup, a little bit more in depth because we're gonna see it again here in a little bit. But yeah, Seashell Shore is a pretty nothing level if you don't get the proxy. More or less, all you do is just run through it. You go to the end of level as quickly as you can. The hardest part of it is genuinely probably getting the entry, whether it be waterfall or whirlwind bypass. And here we're going to be trying to get another cool level entry, this time without the use of swim and air. In this case, we're going to be doing what most people call Molten Crater Wall Glide, which I'm hoping we hit the Pizza Hut Taco Bell here, and I'll explain to you what the Pizza Hut... Oh, we hit the Pizza Hut!
That's a pretty good entry. That was clean.
Alright. It's called the Pizza Hut because that kind of looks like a hut. I don't know why they call it the Pizza Hut. And then... What's coming up here is another type of proxy. We call it an animation proxy. When the board lifts its head here... Oh, baby. We hit the Pizza Hut.
We hit it.
The combination. Listen, if there was ever a time to donate in this run, hitting the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell is definitely one of them. So if you guys want to support the charity, I 100% would recommend it right there. That is a insane like set to get together. It's very hard to execute in runs. But
Speaking
WhitePaaws,
of the devil, we actually did get a donation that I can quickly read off. Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect actually.
Purple Spyro fan donated $250,
Oh my
stating,
god, Spyro.
super thrilled to support a great
Yo.
cause, a wholesome community, and an awesome friend. Awu and good luck, pause, 2 exclamation marks.
Okay, I got
Thank you
Awu.
so much for the generous support, especially for a great cause for Ore.
There's the owl. I hope you're happy. Okay, so
Nuts.
I have a point reward in my channel that is Awu. And every time someone redeems it, I Awu. But yeah, thank you so much, Spyro.
All right. So just to explain a bit of what just happened on screen, I know we were wooing. I know we were taking that big dono. Thank you so much, Spyro. That was awesome. The loads in this game for like a lot of the side areas or even some of like the portals are a little bit weird. So as you can see behind that, behind the guy at the end of the level there, the exit or entry for that side area was kind of behind them. But if you do like a little out of bounds ish type thing, you can actually get behind it and the load trigger will let you go in. And now we're doing whirlwind bypass, which is a series of inputs letting you kind of utilize what's known as kind of a double jump. It's basically a double jump, which isn't technically a thing in this game, but with the fly power up, super fly power up, you actually can utilize it somewhat. And now we get to head into Sheila, which is our first of all of the critter levels. There are 4 of them in the game. We only are going to be seeing 3 of them in this run. All of them kind of are, I don't want to say less fun to play than Spyro, but not as enjoyable to play as Spyro maybe. What are your thoughts on that, Paws? Do you like any of the critters?
I think she looks fine. And the other 3 less fine.
Got you. Yeah, I think a lot of the problem with like these characters is just you play a game called Spyro to play as Spyro. You know, I think that's the basic premise and maybe the problem with them in a lot of cases. They help to break up the gameplay nicely in some cases, but I don't think they need to have their own full levels or like as big of sections as they do in the game. But realistically, they're all just escort missions. In this case, you just want to get the last Billy Goat here all the way to the end and exit level with the egg. So by acquiring the end of level egg with each of the respective like world people, I don't know what they're called exactly, world representatives, I'll say. You actually can utilize that Hope World's mode of transportation. In this case, we're taking a balloon to Buzz, who is going to be our first boss.
So the cutscene crashed and I was about to open the disc. That would have actually crashed the game, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I heard the
By the way, we have a $50 donation that was sent from Anonymous. And it says, it's time to kick some sorcerer's butt.
Thank you so much
So
for the donation.
Thank you so much.
Good time for it, man.
Mhm.
So here we have Buzz. This boss is very manipulable, and what I mean by that is you're gonna see WhitePaaws kind of heading to the edge of this arena and kind of turn the camera a bit. Oh no,
It's fine.
commentator's curse. It always happens, no matter what we're doing. By manipulating the camera, the intention is to make it so Buzz, the flames around him will occasionally load on phases 2 and 3. But if you do it correctly, he doesn't actually load those flames. Unfortunately, WhitePaaws had a bit of a hiccup there, but cleaned it up really nicely, Paws. Good job recovering that.
Yeah, it would have been like drastically worse, honestly. That was a decent backup. Well, that was actually a pretty good first homeworld besides attempting waterfall and missing it.
What do you didn't miss Waterfall, you hit it, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Totally. No one saw me miss it.
I'm legally blind. I didn't see anything. I don't know how I'm commentating this run.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Just pure intuition and knowledge.
Yeah. So here we're doing another variant of swim in air. This one is known as bridge swim. It's often touted as one of the most frustrating tricks in this hub. As you can see, the water level in Spyro kind of rises and dips, and like it has a dynamicness to it. Dynamicness, that word? Anyway, by having Spyro do a charge input or a square input, while it's rising up, you can see what WhitePaaws just did there and get out of bounds. It's pretty tough when you're trying to do it fast, but like if you take your time trying to do it, if you're just like maybe just want to mess around with it, you'll probably be able to get it. We have some awesome resources and tutorials by people from the Spyro community on SRCom, so feel free to check that out if you have any interest in the game. But now we're on to Sergeant Bird, the second of the critter levels. We go back to back from Sheila to Bird, basically. What are your thoughts on Bird? Do you like Sergeant Bird?
Bird is, I don't know, like, it's okay, I guess. It has cool movement, which is if you press both strafe buttons, so like L1 and R1 at the same time, you go zoom. But other than that, it's kind of uninteresting, honestly.
He's like the level's just like there's not like a lot going on. I don't think is like the biggest problem. Like at the end of the day, every single one of like their main worlds for each of the critters, as I said before, are just escort missions. And anyone who's played video games ever, I can almost guarantee would say escort missions are kind of not the vibe. But hey, I mean, that's not to knock you. If you like escort missions, you know, keep liking what you like. But I've had a conversation with loads of people about it. They're just not the best.
You can ask Resident Evil 4 about that.
So as with all levels in this category, we're just getting to the end of the level. We're getting the egg, and we're getting out. You're gonna see that be the complete common trend across the board here. And now we're gonna be utilizing another really cool out of bounds to get into a level entry. Normally Spooky Swamp here takes... Oh, unfortunate. Oh no, Hunter. He just wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to him real quick. This is RNG manipulation for later in the run, obviously.
Yeah. That's Scorch Manip.
Scorch Manip.
Good job on the level entry. Usually it takes 25 eggs to get in here, but utilizing WhitePaaws' method there, we actually get to get in pretty easily. That's a little bit more difficult than the kind of easier way to do it, which I do because I'm a baby. But even so, WhitePaaws making it look like light work as a seasoned pro of Spyro 3, I would say.
This happened again in practice, or yesterday in practice too, where the croc hits the sign there, and I wasn't able to get the backup. You can get a decently sized croc proxy to make it to the end of the level, but the one that I got was super small. Get the idea at least, but yeah.
Even still, the developers actually kind of forgot about some things that you can do in this level. Funnily enough, there's actually a door where you need to spend about, I think it's 500 gems to normally get through the level, but they didn't think about people just jumping into where the barracudas are, and you can kind of cheat your way to the end of the level, doing what WhitePaaws did there. Not really cheat, but cheese your way, I guess.
Yeah. It's something that casually you could like even think about doing, honestly.
Yeah,
you don't really have to pay money backs at all.
Absolutely. That's another level entry. That portal in particular is so low compared to like a lot of the other ones in this hub.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
I've never
like
understood why that one's so low. Yeah, it's like they wanted you to do it. A lot of things in this game, for any percent in particular, feel like they were like not intended, but like, oh, we gave you this. And now we're doing another form of proxy. That one's called the squeeze proxy, where you want to get in between the boulder and the wall. By doing that, it kind of lets you just squeeze and go upwards. It's basically what it sounds like, a squeeze proxy. You're getting squeeze between two surfaces, and because Spyro can't be trapped necessarily, it's a failsafe of the game to kind of launch upwards. So.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Thompson, which is the world record holder for this category, explained this as if imagine you're holding a soap, and if you squeeze it, it just ends up getting launched.
Oh yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's more or less what a squeeze proxy is. Or a proxy in general, really, because I mean it's getting stuck in a very small hitbox.
Yeah. I will say that is definitely the general premise of proxies, is like Spyro has to be somewhere and he can't be inside of like something necessarily like that has like an active hitbox. So the game has to find a way to force him out. Speaking of squeeze proxies, Chan Towers. It features one itself, and I believe we're going to see WhitePaaws go for a little jackhammer squeeze proxy here in the corner. Ooh, close. Well, yeah, no, yeah, you got it.
I was... Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
That was me. I actually was reading the future when I said close. I saw. I for some reason I only think of like
Oh my
successful
gosh.
jackhammers when you get like the big one.
Oh, I
Unfortunate.
see. No, I don't do the big one setup actually. There's different ways to set up that proxy.
Really,
And
I
yeah,
didn't know
there's
if there was that nuance.
yeah, like the one that I use is not really used by that many people actually. So
Okay,
generally-
really quick, I want to just say volume warning to people with headphones.
actually.
These rockets get really loud. Just a little heads up. They mix this part really poorly. Sorry for cutting you off, Pause. Go ahead and continue.
No, I was pretty much done.
Okay.
So
I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure.
That was unfortunate. So, ideally, if that jump went well, you would just make it to the end of the level from there. It's not actually that like it's way harder to get the proxy, honestly, than it is to get the jump. But I do we like that? It's okay.
Gotcha. So here we're heading into objectively the worst level in the entire game category. Icy Peak. Often said to be the run killer of Hub 2, it features a trick that saves 40 seconds, but is very, very easy to mess up or miss, as there are just so many factors that determine if you hit it. Sometimes when you run
really
off...
nice.
Yeah, it was clean.
That was very good. That was a terrible hover, and I still made it, so I'll take that.
That's actually one of the factors I was going to mention, is that hover can really affect it. If you hover a little bit too early, a little bit too late, you can definitely miss it just off of that. Sometimes when you run off of that surface, Spyro will kind of flop off the edge and not really jump. And sometimes you just won't get a good jump or a good line. It's really precise, but again, WhitePaaws, Season Pro at this category. Kind of nuts. I'm going to be honest, this run has been pretty stellar so far, Pause, so
Been good.
pat yourself on the back so far. Not trying to jinx it for Hub 3, but...
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. I don't have wood, I have glass.
Don't break that.
Alright. To answer that one question as well, well, Hypno already answered as well, but yeah, at the end of the game, you can kill moneybags, aka just get your gems that you paid by flaming him, but yeah, and the game does keep track of how many times, so depending on how many times you pay him, you flame him a certain amount of times.
Mm-hmm.
It actually saves time on 117 as well because of... I missed. Okay, sure. What even happened there? Can I get an explanation?
That's pretty interesting.
That just exploded.
So you asked for an explanation. The game doesn't like you.
It's a personalized copy that just has
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Every copy of Spyro 3 is personalized.
You just have to look at the iceberg.
You know? Yeah.
Also, if I do have the mic, there's two things I want to mention. We had
Really?
Guzzy Kitsune with a $10 donation. No comment in particular, but regardless, thank you so much for doing so. That's very kind of you. And also, little did you know that all the revenue from Twitch subscriptions and cheered bits received during the Fastest First Spring Spectacular will be going to our chosen charity or Organization for Autism Research. Go fast to get yourself some of the emotes right now, including our new PB Ball emote. And don't forget to check out and see if you have your free Prime Gaming sub available too. And all the proceeds goes to OR for an amazing cause, and also give amazing speedrunners and people within this community opportunities like this. It's amazing.
Absolutely, that's all awesome.
Mhm.
One of my favorite things about speedrunning marathons in general, doesn't matter which, is just the charities that get supported. Because I often feel like speedrunners have a good grasp on like what's really important. What are the things we should support? What are the things we should look out for? And I can 100% agree with all the causes we're aiming for here in Fastest Furs. You guys are doing a great job.
By the way, very clean out of bounds clip there to the next level.
Yeah, it was good.
Very
I thought I was
clean.
gonna go back in bounds, and that would have been really bad, but no.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah, if you go back in bounds there, the run's actually just over.
Wait, really?
You so fuck.
Yeah, you can't get out. Unless you save the
You
game.
save the game, yeah. You'd have to.
Yeah,
I would
that
have
is the
needed to save the game if that were to happen.
And the reason we don't do that is because it loses time on loads for a save game. It's not like a ton, but that it's typically not optimal. And I mean, if you are doing like active runs of the category, you're probably just gonna reset if you go back in bounds there anyway. So, So this is the third and final of the critter levels, Bentley here. Probably the least interesting of them. I hate to say it.
There's not much going on here.
You
Very
just walk
slow.
around. You have a big club, and you hit things with it. It's not particularly interesting, but we do have a cool like little trick here where we're gonna jump up and hit the gong. Usually, you need to have Bartholomew throw you a snowball. That's mostly it.
There's a very small optimization here where you do a spin jump. It saves you a little bit of time. But other than that, like, it's like about it. Here's a spin jump. So you spin jump onto the thing. Oh yeah, spin jump gives you a slightly more height, by the way. So that's why you cannot just regular jump.
Yep, that applies for like every character in this game too. So in certain sections, you'll see like Spyro do a spin jump. If they're like if you were to miss like a trick or something like that, I know there's a backup in the first hub world where you can kind of do a spin jump to get back up. So
yeah.
Next level we're gonna be looking at is Frozen Altars here. We have ASMR Penguin in this level, who is my favorite character in Spyro 3. I say ASMR Penguin because I want you to turn up the volume if you're an audio listener right now. Once we get to the end of level, you're gonna hear ASMR Penguin. I'm just gonna let him speak. And before that, though, I've never seen somebody hit Mammoth like that.
I just have problems when I hit proxies because of the way I hold the controller. I sometimes fat finger the camera button and I end up flopping.
Gotcha.
So that's what happens there. Like, you don't want that to happen, but I mean, that was still a good enough proxy for me to make it. So that's okay. That's fine.
You skipped ASMR Penguin.
Sag.
You skipped You skipped ASMR Penguin.
Sacrifices must be made for the greater good.
Alright, so next up we're going to be moving on to Fireworks Factory. We're going to be utilizing a very similar out of bounds. One thing I didn't notate about it, because I was kind of talking about the charity a bit, is this out of bounds a little different version to version. So WhitePaaws is playing on 1.1, which is the technical second release of Spyro 3. Meaning that there are some glitches and things that have been patched. So normally you can actually glide the mountain a little bit more to the right. WhitePaaws has to go a little bit further to the left and kind of do a hover to get out of bounds. Not a big deal, but we're going to hit Firefly. Never mind.
Right. That was
Commentators
not
first.
too, like, that wasn't too bad, honestly. That was
Honestly,
a decent attempt.
The Firefly's one of those tricks where it's just so hard to hit.
Yeah,
Like-
Firefly is like the hardest proxy in the game by far. So I still haven't hit it in an 80% run.
I haven't hit it in practice, so I can't blame you.
The only.
Oh, sorry, you go. No, I was just gonna say that Radicoon's been saying amazing commentary. This is super fascinating, and I just said as well, it's absolutely hooked. Like, it's so good. You both are very knowledgeable about this game, and it's super cool to listen to.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I was gonna say that the only time that I've hit Firefly in a run was in the other category, which is 100 egg. Funny enough.
Yeah. Which 100 egg is the intended way to beat the game, as I mentioned a little earlier. Whereas 80%, like I said, we don't care about the dragon babies. We're not saving them. We're just going for the sorceress herself. We're aiming for the snake, not the tail.
Yeah, to be fair, I think
So to
if we, in my opinion, if we defeat sorcerers, we save everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to look at it. They won't be lost, right? They won't be lost fleet. I was trying to make that work. That was such a bad segue. Anyway, we're into Lost Fleet.
You know what? I'm throwing the controller to you. You have to take over. I'm so sorry.
At least this is an easy level to take over for. There's one good optimization
Still
here.
playing. Yo, Dylan, you're cracked.
Yeah, I'm nuts. I've never hit this once in any of my runs, but I'm built different.
Yep.
So here we want to get Zoe to zap us, and the reason why is because this game works off of checkpoints, right? So the Prospector usually has to go through several different checkpoints, but if we save with Zoe, the Prospector, as you can see, is just up on the ship, waiting for us, and he's going to hop into the ship, and we're going to get our egg, end of level, and then we have one more run-killing trick to do here. And I say run-killing because I have thrown too many runs to this trick in particular myself, and I know...
Here. Okay, I got it. Not too bad. Pretty good, actually. Second pause.
So what we were doing there, as Spyro was falling into the goop for the third time, Um, Spyro has this animation set where sometimes, depending on his state, you don't know exactly what he's meant to do. And what I mean by that is, as you can see, Spyro just went up to the surface and just kept swimming. Because Spyro was registered as technically dead, because we hit the goop at the same time we paused and exit level, the game didn't really know what to do with his current state. So he's currently in what's known as zombie, which allows him to kind of maintain whatever state the level he's in puts him in off of rip. So in this example, he's in Charmed Ridge, so he's in his like walking, running state. Because we were underwater after Lost Fleet, he was in his swimming state. Now we're going for Cat Proxy and probably Archer, possibly.
Got it.
Oh, nuts! That was actually a really good one too. I've never seen third Cat that clean.
Yeah, third cat can actually be really finicky because there's so many walls around and that you can just bonk in. But it was very, very clean, so we take those.
Another good thing about that is you didn't actually have to take a death abuse. If you miss, you can't actually go through the level while Spyro's in zombie state because Spyro can't go up whirlwinds because it's only able to load the state of him running or like doing his basic animations. Whereas like a whirlwind is a different state of movement for him. But here, we're gonna grab Sparks and head on into Scorch. Not the Spyro 2 level, fortunately. We're heading into the boss this time.
I didn't actually mean to dip back in the water, but I mean, Spyro likes swimming, so...
Yeah, you just want to take another dip. I don't blame you. It's a hot day.
True.
It's hot in here, you know? With,
Just a quick little dip, just get in the tub.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, to explain this fight real quick, it's basically RNG. So
RNG
there's...
go burr.
Yeah, RNG go burr. There's two things that can happen, or that are RNG, well, I already got bad RNG. You want red rockets, because both green and red rockets do the same damage, but green, you only get 1, and red, you get 50. So you see that, like, obviously 50 is much more than 1. So, you want, definitely want green, yes, want red. It's fine, whatever. And then the other RNG aspect to this fight is the attacks that Scorch does. So you want Scorch to do fireballs. He hasn't done any yet. Probably won't do any because RNG, yep, that's how it be. RNG go burr. Enemies are bad RNG.
Yeah. You optimally want the fireballs because he'll just do his entire, like, he'll do that entire animation otherwise, and he'll take a while if you get the enemies, as WhitePaaws more or less said. That was actually a pretty good end to Scorch, though. You had a little bit of a slow start, but end up pretty nice. I do want to say, I am a little devastated that you didn't get bored by the whale.
Oh.
As we spoke about before the run.
God damn it.
I didn't call it out because we were talking about the cat procs. That was pretty nuts. But just so you know, you can get bored by a whale in this game if you were curious.
Alright.
Anyway.
I want to explain this last trick.
Yeah. So, Helmet, arguably the most prolific trick in Spyro, possibly. Even if you don't know Spyro, you probably heard the term Helmet Proxy. This trick, you have this helmet, which is technically a portal entry, and you're doing kind of a squeeze proxy, while also manipulating the camera and your inputs to launch Spyro up the side of a mountain here and give Spyro some massive, massive height. It's like almost like if you hit like a half pipe in Tony Hawk. That's what it looks like to me. Where you just kind of launch up and you get all that air. And oh my god, you're so good at this game. God.
So
so hot.
The proxy was good. It's just that I did the input slightly too fast, so I got a smaller-ish one. But I got the backup well, which is nice. Got to show that off. The backup can be decently hard, so I'm glad I got that first try.
You also did the harder backup, by the way.
Yeah, I did the harder backup. It's just because it's faster.
It's faster, harder, better, stronger. So one of you, like you folks might notice, Paws didn't really go into like the portal to trigger the boss fight, right? Well, when Insomniac made the game, they just made that load trigger like extend like basically 8 miles beyond where you think it would. So Sorceress's portal is a fair bit away from where it's actually meant to be, essentially, for when we get into it. So it makes it a really interesting way to get into the end game, because otherwise you just can't open that door that the Sorceress is locked behind unless you get at least 100 eggs. But as we've mentioned, this is 80%, and we don't want to get eggs. We just want to bite the snake's head off. We want to go for that whole 9.
Did that miss?
That's insane that missed.
Okay, where is... Okay, that's fine. I think this works. I'm just gonna wait for sorcerers to stop. So I'm trying to do a manip here.
Yep. So optimally, you get the previous phase's weapon for the next phase. So the UFO in particular, a lot of people don't like. I don't mind it, but it's faster to get the tank anyway here. As you can kind of manipulate the sorcerers to kind of running in the middle and running into all your shots, as WhitePaaws is doing to perfection almost. Oh, little iframe.
Just time ends there. The fight goes pretty fast if it's done decently well. That was okay-ish, not super well, but...
It's a good run. That was honestly, like, you didn't miss a lot. Like, you hit
I got a
so many
29.
good things.
29,
Yeah, that was
32.
nuts.
So the timing, like, we timed it for marathon purposes RTA, but the timing of the game, like on the leaderboards, is when you gain movement first. So it's like, it adds roughly 30 seconds or so. So my time SDA, or whatever you want to call it, is 29:32, which is really good. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, no, you absolutely smashed it. That was an insane run, honestly.
That was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, except for like that one death that I took in Enchanted. I think that was mostly solid.
Mhm.
So I'm happy with that,
You're a real
for sure.
comedian sometimes, Bentley.
Great job with the commentary. Great job with the run. Very clean on both ends. Super good work. I'm just still enamored. It's such a fast and technical game. I was not expecting it. Well, I've watched the speedrun that you sent me in DMs, White, just so I can get a little more acquainted with it. But wow, it is so impressive.
Yeah, so the game, as Dylan was saying earlier, it is very technical. It has some tricks that are decently high barrier of entry, so they can be scary to just get down, and so you can like actually, you know, do the runs. But it's a very satisfying speed game. All 3 categories have a lot to offer, so any percent is very broken. Like that 100% or 100 egg rather. 100 egg is has a lot of tricks as well, but it also focuses a lot of movement. And then 117 has some tricks, but it's mainly just movement and gem collection and optimizing lines and all of that, which, well, it's really cool that it has, you know, a speed game has all of these different things to offer. That, I definitely want to give shoutouts to Dylan here for helping me out with commentary. You did great, thank you for that.
No, you.
No me.
No, you.
But yeah. Definitely, if anyone is interested in picking up this game or any of the Spyro games, there is a lot of resources in SRCom. There's also a lot of resources in the Discord server. There's a lot of people that will be willing to help you out if anyone wants to pick up these games.
Absolutely. I can't recommend the Spyro community enough. There are so many people that are willing to help you if you are interested in this category or in the games in general. So if you are in any way interested, feel free to pop on through, and I'll be there. WhitePaaws will be there. We'll give you a hand.
Yep, absolutely. And again, thank you to Axo as well for hosting our run.
I've been looking for
So that's the part where I say no you, right? That's the moment.
No me twice, oh my.
Hey,
2 against 1.
you didn't hear anything from me.
But yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. So be sure to stick in for the rest of the marathon. There's still so many runs going on. We're not even... I don't think we've even hit halfway through the marathon. Or maybe we have, but just slightly. But there's still a lot of left.
Yeah, we're
next...
just about to hit halfway.
Yep. And next up is... we got a very cute game that I recently... Well, I haven't finished it, but I recently started playing, which is called Pico Park. We get Palm, Collie, and Evo, which are very good friends of mine, so very good luck. Much good luck to them, and stay tuned for this and the rest of the runs.